Jim, do you think TJD is a starting center in the NBA?
I think he's a starting center for the Warriors.
Oh boy.
Okay, so you think TJD can guard Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic?
We'll see. We'll see. He had some trouble with certain players last season for sure. But some of the things that you say are just completely out of pocket. You talking about he's not good against. He's not good guarding guards out in the perimeter. Like, how many games did you actually watch to say
that's
something
true,
like
Jim.
that? I've literally done like multiple video footage of him guarding the speediest guards in the freaking league. In his second game of the season against the Kings, he shut down both Fox and Monk, both of them together on the floor at the same time against Trayce. They scored like 2-3 points in the span of 5 minutes. That gave the Warriors a huge lead. The problem was that he wasn't getting consistent minutes.
How many games did Draymond Green play last year?
I don't know exactly how many games did he play.
He played 50. So Draymond Green missed almost 32 games. So the Warriors did not have good options at the center for almost 40% of the season. They didn't play TJD. And the reason they didn't play TJD,
they did play him. What are you talking about? They played him.
Like,
when you say they didn't play him, what are you talking about?
Hold on.
Give him 5 seconds.
Hold on. I'm going to go for 30 seconds, then you go. You did your presentation. So you're citing 5 minutes against Sacramento. The problem with looking at Sacramento is that if you look at Sacramento outside of De'Aaron Fox, they didn't have very good downhill players. And Monk usually doesn't play with Fox because he's not a good off-the-ball player. And so if you look at the teams that have multiple guards who can shoot and come downhill, like if you look at the top teams in the West, you look at Oklahoma City with Jalen Williams and Shea. You look at a team like Phoenix with Durant and Beal. TJD is not switching on to Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal. He's not switching on to players like Shea and Jalen Williams. He's not. And he can't guard any of the biggest centers in the league. He got destroyed by DeAndre Ayton. He's a 6'10 player. So you're going to get hurt on the boards. You can't guard the biggest centers. The West is huge. It's huge. If you look at Anthony Davis, if you look at Jokic, if you look at Wemby, the best centers in the NBA are 7 foot, 7'1", and Jokic is 280. I mean, TCD could not guard Ayton. He's not guarding those players. Draymond Green is still your best option at the 5.
Yeah, it is longer than 30 seconds, Brandon. Go ahead, Jim.
So Brandon, were you aware?
What?
So you don't care about any type of lineup data, right? The thing
I
is
do.
that
What I said is the data for TJD is the Warriors played TJD at the 5 in matchup specific situations. Like I watched all the.
But it wasn't matchup specific though.
NBA.
Did you watch the end of the season?
I'm going to land it in 10 seconds. So if you watch the tape where TJD was starting with Green, like the Charlotte and the Orlando game, those are teams that do not have front lines that can score. So when TJD had to guard centers, even not all-star or elite centers, but centers who could score like Ayton, he got destroyed. He got destroyed by DeAndre Ayton in the Portland game. And DeAndre
How many
Ayton
Portland
is not
games? You keep mentioning the Portland game. That's a lot longer than 10 seconds, Brandon. That's a lot. You said 10 seconds, right? That's a lot longer than 10 seconds. Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I mean,
how many of those Blazers games did you actually watch? How many times did they play, and how many of those
watched
did you
every
watch?
play of it. So
You watch.
when
If
I
you watch
review a
every
game,
single one of those, and you can't say that Ayton dominated Trayce every time. That's just a straight
I
up
did.
lie. I
And you
have
could watch
video
it again.
footage. I have a
The Warriors
30-minute
did not
video
even play
footage
Hold
of
on,
them playing
Brandon.
against the Blazers,
for
bro.
most of the fourth quarter because he got cooked badly. Anyways, I put the tape in the chat. You can watch it yourself. But Ayton cooked him. He can't guard the best centers in the league. He can't. The reason why, and here's the thing, this is what cooks your point the most, Jim, is Golden State uses analytics more than almost any franchise in the NBA, other than maybe San Antonio. The reason why the Warriors took TJD off the court, even when Green was only playing 50 games, is they ran the analytics on TJD and they ran the analytics on different lineups. And the analytics all come out the same.
Okay.
When you play
What I
TJD
realize
more than
about
20 minutes
you
a game,
is that I don't want to continue this
capable
conversation with you
frontline
because you don't
scorers,
listen to
he gets
anything.
cooked.
You don't
He got
listen to
cooked.
anything
Brandon.
that counters
Could
what you
not play
say.
major minutes at the 5. That's what the analytics showed, and that's why Golden State only
All right.
used the
I'm not.
TJD.
This
So
is
Brandon,
not
Brandon,
interesting.
Brandon.
This is
Hold
my
on.
first day back. And I don't
Hold on,
want to be
Brandon.
doing this with somebody who is spewing things that is just so easily
Okay.
disprovable.
Well, I mean, now I'm getting muted.
It's so
which
easily
is- I think
disprovable.
we can tell.
You
I'm
keep
probably
saying
winning this
like
argument.
you keep
But
saying,
again,
oh,
the
they
Warriors
played them
Brandon,
situationally.
TJD green
What about the
lineup
final
in
12
matchup
games? Was
specific
that
situations.
situational? Was that situational in the final 12 games when he started all of those games? We talking about situational matchups. What about that?
That's a great. So let's talk about those 12 games. Okay. So first of all, if you look at those 12 games, they're almost all against some of the worst teams in the NBA. Golden
Oh my
State's
goodness.
schedule
Oh,
is
there you
very,
go.
very weak at the end of the season. Number one. Number two, and this is the point I made before. If you look at the capable centers that TJD played against, like Ayton, they cooked him like a bitch. You can't name one top-level center that TJD guarded well as a starter. Name one.
Okay, so you're just
No,
gonna
name
you
name
said
one. Name
hold
one.
on.
First of all,
You
No,
Brandon is
said
putting
one.
up too much
Name one
emphasis on the
starting
center
center
position.
that
Here we go.
TJD
Here we
guarded
go.
well, who's an all-star level player.
Instead
I'm
of
not saying name
acknowledging
two
the
or
fact
three,
that you
name
shouldn't have
one. Name
said
one.
that he was placed situationally because it's not freaking true. Instead of
Okay, so
acknowledging
name
that,
one
you just
center
decide.
that
No,
he
no,
held
no.
up
You
against
acknowledge
who he
absolutely
played.
nothing.
I've asked
You
4
you acknowledge
times. I
absolutely
mean,
nothing,
you
and
said
then
you're
you
a
jump to your
Warriors
next
fan.
point.
So
And I'm
you
not
need
doing this
some time to
conversation
go
with
back
you,
and
dude.
look at the tape.
I'm
I
not
mean,
doing
maybe
this
I think
conversation with
Jim
you.
needs a 20-second timeout so he can go look at the tape. Jim, can you give me one center who's an all-star level
Oh
player?
man.
I'm not even saying TJD guarded well. That TJD held up against. He got cooked by Ayton like a bitch. He can't guard any of the top centers in the NBA. So I'm asking you again. Name one good center that TJD held up against. Name one as a starter. Name one.
Okay, did you watch
Yeah, it's kind of
the
quiet now because
No,
there
it's
isn't
not
one.
Brandon.
He's
It's not. Shut
Let
the
him
fuck
fucking
up.
talk.
Let
Let him
Jim
talk. Jesus.
Brandon, it's a debate,
Shut
Brandon.
bitch ass.
Brandon, all you do
Yeah,
is
man,
fucking talk,
relax.
All right,
Jesus.
and then
Jim,
when
go
when
ahead
you
now.
anyone
there's really
Go ahead,
no
Jim.
shut the
room.
fuck
He's
up.
talked plenty. It's fine.
There's
He
no
hasn't
real,
said shit.
there's no room.
He did a 20-minute presentation.
No, that was
All
my
right, relax.
presentation.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, Brandon, I built that presentation from the ground up, and I wanted Jim to come
That's
in.
fine. I mean, he's had plenty of time to talk.
And he spoke, but this is a debate now. So it's now you get equal time in this debate. The time didn't start during the presentation. The time started once you guys began debating. And you've spoken more than him in this debate. So Jim, your turn.
Okay, so if you look at, you say that, oh, the final last 12 teams that they played were garbage, and so that doesn't really matter and that doesn't count. That's what you said? Right? Because you're talking about situational, but it's like, Brandon, one thing about a conversation is if you say something and then I disprove that notion, then you have to acknowledge that, right? You can't say that when the guy started the final 12 games of the season, right? That happened. And then you were saying that he only plays situationally. Well, the situationally was that their
He
lineups
started.
were the best with Trayce in
Yeah.
the lineup. So the coach was like, okay, we can't do JK starting anymore. Even though JK has had a hell of a season, we're going to have to bench him because our team is best when Trayce is in the starting lineup. And we're best when he's closing games. And so that's why Steve went to this lineup. He doesn't like to do these things. He avoided doing it throughout the course of the season. Even when Trayce should have played, he didn't play him enough, right? And yet, it got to a point where it was just undeniable, and they had to play him. They had to play him to ensure that they win enough games to make it to the freaking play-in. And that happened. So when you say stuff like, oh, it was situational, he only played situational, I mean, that's just, it's a lie. It's a straight up lie. So I think it's important that when I say something like this to you, that you be able to say, okay, I shouldn't have said situationally. Maybe it was situational throughout the course of the season, but as the season went on, you're right. They did play him. They did start him, and he played all of those final games as a starter. And they were, what was their record? Do you know what their record was in their final 10, 11 games?
What was the record, Jim?
What was it, Dre? Was it like 10-2 or something?
They were 9-2 the last 11.
There you go. They were amazing.
Okay.
What other part of the season did they go 9-2, Brandon?
Okay.
Like not that many, right?
So
They struggled for a chunk of the season.
I'm waiting for you to finish, and then I'm going to barbecue you. But I'll let you finish.
Wait. So Jim, can you name? So Brandon asked a question. He said, "How many?"
He can't answer the question.
Hold on,
he can't.
hold
He
on.
would have already. He
let me-
can't
let
answer
me-
the question.
Let me throw the lob. Okay. Jim, the question was, how many centers did Trayce hold up against defensively?
How many centers did he hold up? I mean, depends on what you mean by hold up, right? So when he played against San Antonio, right? And did he do a good job against Wemby? Did he make it tough for Wemby, a fellow rookie?
He did.
Did they win that game?
San Antonio scored 113 points. Golden State did not win because of defense.
You see, this is the thing. What nuance do you remember between that matchup? Do you remember that matchup?
Brandon, that's the most casual thing ever, bro.
Somebody muted me again.
Don't mute.
Yeah,
Anyways, Jim, I'm gonna let you go. Then I'll go when you're done.
No, Jim didn't mute you. Don't mute in the chat. Let both parties speak. Go ahead.
I so did not want to do this.
By the
right
way,
now,
Jim,
but
Jim, let me just say this, just for your argument. Giannis is a 4, right? He's one of the best power forwards in the league. He shot 3 for 8 when Trayce guarded him. Anthony Davis shot 2 for 4, small sample. Zion Williamson shot 3 for 7. Bam Adebayo shot 2 for 5. So those are some starting front court players that are elite. Bam 2 for 5. Giannis 3 for
Bam
8.
is not an elite offensive player. Nice.
Bam
try.
Adebayo is absolutely one of the best front court scorers in the league. 100% he is.
Bam is not a great front court scorer. What makes Bam special is his switchability, and he's a good playmaker for 5. As a scorer, Bam is not.
So that makes him good.
Hold
Bam
on.
is not
Everything
a
that
Yes,
you
great
he
just said, that
is.
makes him
He
good.
averages
That's
no,
not true.
no. Bam averages 19 points on 52% shooting from the field. He's absolutely one of the best front court scorers in the NBA. There's no question
Don't let
about
Brandon
that.
gaslight you, man. You don't know what he's talking about.
If you're including 4s and 5s in your front court, Bam would not rank top 20 as a front court scorer.
He's one of the best. He's a borderline 20-point scorer on.
Okay, I mean that's tangential to this debate anyway.
All right,
so
fine. But,
okay,
but
so
It's really not.
Hold on. Wait, so Jim, are you done now? All right, so it looks like Jim's done. So I'm gonna barbecue Jim now. Okay, so if you look at the Warriors' final 11 games, and this is why Jim had no response for what I said. The Warriors did not play any capable centers. Like the stats that Dre you point out, those are very small stats with a limited sample size. So Golden State uses analytics more than, as I mentioned before, Golden State uses analytics more than any franchise in the entire league, except arguably San Antonio. So the reason why Golden State did not play TJD, even though Green missed almost 40, not 20 or 30, 40% of the games, was TJD is not switchable onto guards. He cannot go over picks. He cannot guard the best guards in the NBA, like Shea, like an Anthony Edwards, like players like that. He can't guard Jamal Murray on the wing. TJD is a good rim protector. He's not a good one-on-one defender. He's not big enough to guard a 280.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Now, what center in the NBA? Brandon, what center? Hold on. What center in the NBA? Listen to me. What center in the NBA does everything that you just said? I would love to know that. What center? Switchable, guards.
Hold on.
What center does that?
Someone keeps muting me.
No, that was me. That was me because you.
Moderators.
Nobody can get a word in edgewise.
That was
me.
Here's the problem with what Jim said. So Golden State played complete garbage the final 11 games of the season. If you look at the teams the Warriors played the final 11 games of the season, you have Utah, an injured New Orleans team, Portland, Utah, Houston, San Antonio, Charlotte, Orlando. Garbage. If you look at the playoff teams that Golden State played with TJD starting, they had a losing record against them. They had a losing record against the good teams they played. And the reason why that lineup was somewhat successful, and I mentioned this point before, is the final 11 games of the season, the Warriors didn't play any of the top centers in the NBA. They didn't play Jokic. They didn't play Anthony Davis. And when they played Wemby cooked them. And so when you look at what happens with TJD against a legit 7-foot center who's a capable scorer like Anthony Davis or Jokic.
Okay, Brandon, now get back to answer my question.
Hold on. Those players all cook.
Get back to answering my question. And my question is, what center is capable of doing all of the things that you just said?
Just keeps muting me in the
center? No. Answer my question. What center is capable of doing all of those things that you just said?
Hold on.
I'm curious.
I know. I'll answer your question, but I want to finish my point. So
No.
Jim's
Hold on. What
I
center
know.
is
Hold on. I'm going to
capable
finish
of
my take
doing
in
all of
15
the
seconds,
things?
and I'll answer your question.
No. I want you to answer this question first.
Hold on. What Jim is saying is misleading. What Jim's saying is garbage because Golden State not only played most of the worst teams in the NBA the final 11 games of the season, they didn't play capable centers either. And when Golden State did play a capable center, like DeAndre Ayton destroyed TJD. The Warriors were 20 points better against DeAndre fucking Ayton when TJD was off the court. He's not switchable onto guards. He can't guard 7-foot centers. He's not a good passer or shooter. He's a 10 to 12 minute a
All
game
right.
backup
Okay.
center. Golden
Now
State's
let me
best
go.
option at the 5 is Green. And if the Warriors want to win anything, they need to add a center who can shoot and defend.
They don't need to add a center.
You
They
keep
literally
saying the
won
same
with
thing,
Kevon
man.
Looney.
This
They
is
literally
boring.
won with Kevon Looney.
This is
They won with Kevon
boring.
Looney at center. They literally won with Kevon Looney
and
at
that's
center.
because they had
right?
Green playing major minutes. Green's not playing major minutes at age 35 with back issues.
Yeah, so TJD was the guy that helped to alleviate Green.
Jim,
Better than
I know,
Kevon Looney did.
Jim, I probably know you better than anyone because chat, what did I tell you guys about Jim and Brandon? What did I say? I said he is not going to want to entertain this bullshit by the 5th minute. 5 minutes in, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
You can't make an argument. The final 11
because
games,
Brandon,
Golden State
you're
played
obtuse.
garbage.
Brandon, you're purposely obtuse. You're like
He's
you
always
just-
obtuse.
Bro, you change and you shift and you shape your narrative
Just
and your
Dre.
argument.
Bam Adebayo is
Dre.
one of the top frontline
He
scorers.
is.
Dre.
You
He
He's
sound
a
retarded.
It's called being a
What's up, Earth?
contrarian, bro.
What's up, Earth?
It's called being a contrarian.
Dre. Brandon heard about Jim and he's been hearing about Jim
I
and
know,
both
I know.
channels. And Brandon brought out the fastball, bro. He's like,
Dude,
I'm gonna cook him.
He was so
Yeah,
amped up.
I don't care. No.
I'm gonna cook him.
Well, he doesn't acknowledge anything. I don't like to talk to people who acknowledges nothing
Yeah.
and then make up bullshit excuses for
Yeah.
why what they're saying is like.
He deflects.
but
he deflects
there's
every
this and
point.
that.
He
Like,
says,
there's
you
no
don't know
fucking
ball.
this and that.
I've asked you 6 times to
I'm
name
gonna
one good center
barbecue
that
you.
TJD held up against defensively. You can't name one.
Listen to me. I've watched Kevon Looney lock up Joel Embiid. Like, what you're saying is a moot point. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, there's
and
too
Golden
much to
State
explain.
doesn't
Like, you gotta understand.
Golden State
something
doesn't
about
use their
defense,
centers
man.
like that. Exactly. Golden State
Defense
doesn't use
isn't
their
just
centers like that.
one-on-one defense against for centers. It's not
Yeah.
just one-on-one defense against the center. Even, for example, right? If you're playing against the Nuggets, even let's say Jokic gets a number of good possessions on Trayce, okay? But let's say he guards him one-on-one, and then at the end of the day, he's protecting the paint and he's playing team defense consistently. How many possessions are there? And how many of those possessions does Jokic use, right? Against a guy like Trayce versus how many possessions does Trayce have to protect the paint area and just be an anchor in general? There's so much more to the game of basketball than just what you're trying to do, which is like, so what about all the centers that are not good defenders and yet they're starters anyway? What about those guys? They should never start. They shouldn't do, there's different players have different roles and do different things. Nobody
Jim.
can shut everybody down, right? That's not a thing.
You know, the other day,
Right, but the point.
know the
Hold
other
on,
day-
but the point is TJD is a zero offensively. He
No,
can't
he's
shoot.
not.
He struggles
No,
to
he's
finish.
not.
This is-
That's a
He's
lie.
like the
Come on,
opposite.
man.
The guy
Given
says
that, given
the
that
guy
TJD
says that
is given
Trayce
almost
is one of
nothing
the better
offensively,
defensive
his values
centers in
on
the
the
league.
defensive
Okay.
side.
Now
And
he's
he
just
can't
talking
guard
about
any of the best centers in the NBA. Oh, one other point.
I see why you
Wemby
get
dropped
muted, dude.
32
I see why you get muted.
Wait,
So
listen.
hold on.
Listen.
TJD got
You
cooked
say
by
you say
got
TJD
cooked by
can't
Wemby.
fry.
He
Okay,
can't-
wait.
All right,
We
Jim,
were
go
on
ahead.
this argument. We were on this argument last time. You always say, "Oh yeah, Trayce can't guard Jokic, bro." Who the fuck fries Jokic defensively?
Jordan.
Wait. Who the fuck?
TJD got cooked by every good
Wait,
center.
answer the question. Who the fuck fries Jokic defensively? Who the fuck fries him defensively? Name one name who's consistently fried Jokic defensively in one.
That was my question too,
name
bro.
Name one person. Name one person who consistently fries Joel Embiid or Anthony Davis. Nobody. You want to know why? They're the cream of the crop. MVP candidates.
Nobody.
No. So that's not a good point. I'll tell you why. So if you look at the teams that can guard, so there's levels to this. Of course, an all-time great player like Jokic is not going to get held to 6 points a game. But there are teams that do a good job defensively on Jokic. One of them is Minnesota. That's why they beat him in the playoffs. Another is Nurkic.
That's good team defense.
Hold on. The reason why Phoenix swept Denver in the regular season is Nurkic does a good job against Jokic. So TJD would get obliterated by Jokic.
Wait, I don't even believe Jamal Murray played all those games. I don't even believe Jamal Murray played all those games.
Jokic would literally score on every single possession against TJD. He would do to TJD exactly what he did to Ayton in the playoffs
Jordan,
before.
hold on.
And so,
Jordan.
no, hold on. There are levels
go ahead,
to this.
Dre. Wait, go ahead, Dre.
So to say that because Jokic is an all-time great player, you could just throw a dipshit 6'10" player out there and it doesn't matter. It's one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard.
All right.
Who the fuck said that? Wait, here we go with this shit again. Wait, here we go with this shit again. Here we go with this shit again. Who the fuck said that?
65 to 70%. You cannot guard the best centers in the NBA.
Wait, no shit. Wait, no shit, dickhead.
I literally watched Rudy
Wait, but
Gobert.
who said that though?
Hold on. I literally watched Rudy Gobert fry
He's not
Nikola Jokic.
All right, listen.
So Rudy Gobert is not a starting center. Man, stop it. Listen to
Yo,
me.
what are
If
you
Rudy
talking
Gobert,
about?
no, but if Rudy Gobert is getting fried by Nikola Jokic, who's going to guard Nikola Jokic?
But Rudy Gobert doesn't get fried by Nikola Jokic.
But he does though.
No, he doesn't.
though.
Actually,
Yes,
if you
he
look at
does.
the numbers, when Rudy Gobert guarded Jokic, he actually held him to below 50% shooting. So you don't know what
fries
you're
him
talking
every time.
How many
No,
shots?
he fries him
generally
every
don't
time
know
he
what you're
sees him.
talking about when you're
He fries
making
him every
arguments.
time he sees him. No, he
No, he
fries him
doesn't.
every time.
The
Yes, he
numbers show
does.
that's not true.
Show me the numbers. But he fries him every time
so
he sees him.
Gobert has played Jokic in the playoffs the last 2 years. The numbers show Jokic does not fry Gobert.
He fries Gobert. And guess
not.
what? Gobert
There's
has
no numbers to
Gobert
support
has
that.
no type of offensive
I mean,
game
you
to go
can
back
keep
at him.
saying something that's not true. I can just put the numbers
I mean,
on the screen and show you're wrong.
So throw
And
the
again,
numbers
my
on the
point
screen
is
then.
that,
Look,
Of course, Jokic is going to have
I'm
some
gonna
level
fact check
of
you right
success
now.
against
Hold on.
most players, but
I'm gonna
Jokic
fact check you right
obliterates
now.
TJD.
Throw the numbers
He
on the
would
screen,
obliterate
Brandon.
him.
Throw the
TJD would
numbers
put
on
up
the
no
screen.
resistance on.
Show the numbers on the screen because you have a weird way of saying stuff and not backing it up.
No,
What are the
I
numbers?
said TJD gives you rim protection. I made that point. I said
Brandon,
he can't
what
guard
you're
on
saying-
the perimeter and he can't
What
guard
you're
the top
saying is
center.
that you're overemphasizing, you're literally overemphasizing the importance of a center, right? Like the game is not played in the paint anymore, right? It's really not. So unless your center is scalable in the paint and on the perimeter, it doesn't matter because that's where the game is being played.
Right,
Vote
but
in the poll.
TJD is not scalable on the perimeter.
But he is though. He is
He's
though.
not.
Because here's the problem.
Yes, he
Here's
is.
the problem.
Brandon, you don't.
He's not scalable on the perimeter.
Don't try to convince this guy, man. He's not going to get
No,
convinced by any
you can
fact
watch the
whatsoever.
tape. It's very
It
clear.
doesn't matter
There's
what
a
fact
reason
you throw
Golden
at
State
him.
only
The
played
only
big-
thing he's acknowledged in
Hold
this
on.
entire conversation is that
Let me
Trayce
ask this
is a
question.
good rim protector. That's all he's admitting.
Let me ask this question. Let me
No, I'm
ask
not
this question.
admitting. I said he is a
Is-
decent rim protector, but that's all he
Is
does.
Kevon Looney is Kevon Looney passable on the perimeter before the weight gain, of course?
Kevon Looney guards better on the perimeter than TJD.
But he does not, though.
He does, yes.
No, he does not.
Well, a great example is if you look at when Andre Iguodala got hurt and Golden State had to play Kevon Looney against Houston in 2018. Looney actually held up pretty well on the perimeter in that series. Looney's defense was a key part of the reason why Golden State was able to win that series, even though Iguodala got hurt. Looney's not a great defender on the perimeter at all, but he does better than TJD. He's better at moving. He has a higher basketball IQ.
Based
too.
on what?
He knows
Based
where
on
to
what?
He
Based
handles,
on what you
he's
say
more
that Looney's
switchable
better
than TJD is.
in the perimeter
Looney also
than
had
Trayce?
functioning
Based
hips.
on what are you saying that?
Bro?
What are you basing it on when you say that
I
Looney
can't-
is
there's
a better
6 people
perimeter
talking.
defender
I can't
than
hear any.
Trayce? There's only one person talking right now, and it's me.
He's lost.
And I'm asking you a very simple question. Where are you getting the information that Looney is a better perimeter defender than Trayce is? Where are you getting that?
I'm telling you, I've seen Kevon Looney hold up on the perimeter in the playoffs against Houston.
Are you talking about
against
playoffs or are we
Sacramento.
talking about regular
No. So when you talk about TJD is playing second unit players. And when he started, and I've made this point multiple times, you had no response. When TJD was starting, he played no good centers except Ayton and Wemby, and both cooked his ass. So you're citing
That's
a 12-game sample
that's
size
liter-
against the worst. You're citing a 12-game sample size against the worst teams in the NBA
You brought
and
up
teams
two
that
names.
mostly had
You
centers
brought up
who
two
could not
names to
score.
talk about.
Jim,
Trayce gets
I'll
cooked
give
by
you. I'll give you a
everybody.
sixth opportunity. Jim, can you name one good center that TJD held up against the entire season? Name one.
The entire
he only
the
played
guy
like the
didn't
last 12
get-
games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
no, name one good
what the
center
hell?
that TJD
No, he only
started
played
against
12
and he held
games.
up
No,
against.
you're wrong, bro. He only played
And
12
Giannis
games.
is not a center for people in the chat.
Oh, so that
He
doesn't
played-
count.
7 foot.
Hold on.
No,
That
and
doesn't
first of all,
count when
the
he
other
does a
thing,
really good job
when
against
Dre
Giannis
mentions
Antetokounmpo. That doesn't count to
when
you?
Dre
Dad,
mentions
this
the
nigga's
stats
retarded.
Giannis, nobody's guarding Giannis one-on-one.
All right, who play? Hey,
You're
Brandon.
controlling the
Christ,
conversation too much.
Brandon.
Hold on.
Who,
Let me say something, Dre. Hold
who
on.
plays the 5 for the
Uh,
Kings? Who plays the 5 for the Kings? Who plays the 5 for the Kings?
TJD played really well against Nurkic. Remember Nurkic, who you said was a really good defensive player in Phoenix? He played really well against
That's
him.
true too. That's true too.
Are you
Who
going to
plays-
deny that?
And who plays the 5 for the Kings, Brandon? Who plays the 5 for the Kings? Unmute.
He played well against Sabonis.
Very
Sabonis
well.
was an MVP
Very
candidate.
Okay.
Sabonis
Yo,
was an MVP candidate. He played well
35.
against him. You asked me to name, and
Oh.
I named. So I said Nurkic, and then I said Sabonis.
So first of all, Domantas
And you were
Sabonis'
stroking off
value
Jokic.
offensively. Hold on. Domantas Sabonis' value offensively is that he's an elite passer. He is not a very capable scorer. In fact, Golden State's whole strategy
Sabonis
against
is not a
Sabonis-
capable
Wait,
scorer.
hold
Are
on,
you kidding me?
Hold on. You made your
That's
point.
BS, Brandon.
So
Come on,
Golden
man.
State's
That's
hold
crazy.
on. Golden State's whole strategy against Sacramento in the playoffs was to make Sabonis a scorer and keep him from being the primary distributor and passer, because Fox is not a good passer and playmaker. The Kings
The
run
same
their
thing they
offense
did with
from
Jokic.
Sabonis. Hold on. So
The same thing they
Sabonis
did with
is
Jokic.
not. Hold on.
So now you're
hold on. You
talking
made
strategy.
your point.
So you
made
do
your
know
point.
strategy.
So
You do know strategy.
Sabonis is not a scorer. He's not a scorer. He's primarily a distributor. And Nurkic is not a scorer either. Nurkic is a solid rim protector. Nurkic is not any great defender, but Nurkic is not a scorer, and Sabonis is not a scorer. Again, not one person on this panel can cite a single good scoring center who TJD held up against. Golden State played trash the final 12 games of the season, and in particular, they did not play capable centers. And when they did play a capable center like Ayton, I put the film in the chat, Ayton didn't just cook TJD, he obliterated him. The Warriors were 20 points better when TJD was on the fucking bench.
Against
So you're
DeAndre.
gonna use one game. You're using
Yeah,
a
talk
single
That's
about
the
game.
capable center he played, and Wemby cooked him too.
Anybody is capable of going off in a single game.
Yeah,
You
bro.
have to
Right,
look
but
at the
so,
whole
okay,
body
so
of
hold
work.
on, hold on. Give me.
Instead of looking
Okay,
at the
I'll
whole
ask you
body
for
of work.
seventh time. Give me one good center that TJD held up against defensively.
He
when
held up
started.
against
Give
most
me one.
players. What are you talking? Okay,
So give me a name. Give me a name.
We should flip this.
Give me a
and
name.
ask
Give
you,
me a name.
Who else is it that completely?
No, give me no. If
According
you
to
want,
you, he
if
got
you
cooked
want
by
me to
everybody,
answer
right?
questions, you have to answer mine. So
According
give
to
me
you,
a
he got
fucking
cooked by
name.
everybody.
Give
Brandon,
me
you're
a
getting
fucking
fried,
name.
Brandon.
Give me
You're
a
getting
center.
fried right
Give
now.
me a center that TJD held up against who he started. Give me one.
The problem is if I list
Right.
the
He's
center's
not going to answer
name,
the question.
if I list
He
the
got cooked.
center's name,
Brandon,
you're just gonna say,
you got
"Oh,
fried
well,
again,
that guy's
man.
not dominant."
No,
Who
no,
the
I
fuck is
cooked him.
dominant?
Brandon,
You
you
guys
got
can't name
cooked,
one
man.
center. Like
Brandon got
when
fried
Dre
again.
started
All you
Giannis,
named is
that's team
Jokic and
defense.
Ayton.
That's
That's
not
it. Who
one-on-one
else?
defense.
No, it was. It was.
What
TJD
other
is not
center are you
guarding
talking
Giannis
about?
one-on-one.
Wait,
That's
He
fucking
did.
Brandon,
You
you
can
got
put up
fried
the game
again,
footage.
man.
Wait, does anybody have the game footage of the buck of him dominating Giannis? We can just pull the shit
Sabonis,
up.
How you
Bam,
doing?
Giannis.
We can just pull the shit
It
up.
doesn't matter. Even if we tell him, it doesn't matter. He's not going to be convinced because he doesn't want to be convinced. He's convinced of what he wants to believe, and that's fine. That's fine. This fucking conversation has gone on way too fucking long. I just wanted to say my hellos. This is my first day back in months, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to be spending it with somebody who doesn't speak in a reasonable way or is in for a reasonable discussion where you acknowledge things and we try to, get to our points and we can agree and disagree and whatever. But if there are disagreements and if there's multiple things that are said, like it's okay to agree on certain things. So for example, you say that he's a bad defender against everybody. That's obviously not true. Everybody in this room knows that. Now, if you want to say that there are certain players that he did not do well against, that is true. That's something that we discussed already during the breakdown. if you were here for it, right?
We're
We
glad to
talked
have you
about his
back.
limitations.
We
We
are
talked
glad
about
to
his
have you
weaknesses.
back, bro. Let's go, bro. We
Yes,
have
sir.
dealt with Brandon and some other guys that
Applause in the chat. Applause in the chat. Well
we are
done.
glad that Jim is back, guys. We are
Yeah.
glad that Jim is back.
Clap it up, man.
We
Clap
have
it
dealt
up.
with so many randoms, Jim, that
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
lost now, bro. But it's glad that you're back, bro.
Jim, how have you been though? Everything been okay? Life? Everything good?
That's a very broad question, but yes, I'm good. Thank you. I
Good.
just
Glad
want
you're
to
doing well, bro.
say I appreciate it. I just want to say one thing to clarify, Urkel, when you were talking before about, it's like friends, like not, sticking up for each other and believing in each other because you know that person. Doesn't matter what somebody that doesn't know you says about you or something along those lines, right? I just want to say, because you guys know how I am when it gets to basketball talks, when I have to deal with people like Brandon and other people that just won't listen to reason, will not agree on anything, no matter what facts you throw at them, all these things, it gets a little annoying, right? And especially during the frustrations of the course of an entire season where all these crazy things are happening, right? I want you guys to understand something about me when it comes to basketball, right? I talk very differently to people when it comes to basketball than just about anything else. Like the way I talk to certain people online about basketball is not how I talk to people in general. I don't talk to anybody like that in general, unless they completely and highly disrespect me or something along those lines. Then it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of these people do. They get super disrespectful towards me, and then they wonder why I'm mean back to them, right? There's got to be some but I'm also constantly trying to work on these things, because even if it's just about basketball, I don't want to get too crazy. I think I think people misconstrue who I am because of my business like nature when it comes to talking about basketball. I am all business when it comes to basketball. I am all about winning, right? Anything that is for winning, I am for. Anything that is not for winning, I am not for.
Chasing wins. Jim, are you chasing wins?
Exactly. We're chasing wins, right? And when I see things that are not, it doesn't agree with trying to win games, then I'm gonna feel a certain way about it. I'm gonna speak the truth on that. I realize that I have been very outspoken on those truths when I speak it, because, well, when you truly want to win and you have that passion to win, and you see that dumb things are going on that disallows that winning to happen, well, then the angry side of me is going to come out, just like any of you that play the game of basketball. If stupid shit happens on the floor, you're going to get frustrated, right? Well, that's how I am when it comes to, analyzing this team and, rooting for them and wanting the best for them, and then seeing where they're failing and why. And so I seek to explain those things, right? But obviously a lot of people come at me or against me when I say this and that and whatever. And I've had many discussions with people that disagree with me, without it getting out of hand, right? But oftentimes emotions it just runs wild, and then somebody will say something to me, I will say something back, and then sometimes it can get out of control. What I will say is that when it comes to other things, especially when it comes to something like politics, for example, right? This is different. This is real human life shit, like with real human consequences. And so when it comes to things like that, or anything else for that matter, that doesn't involve competition and the spirit of winning, right? And you're literally in some ways going to war, right? To win, to ultimately win. These players are literally putting it all on the line every single game to try to win, right? And so when you're on that winning energy, that's different than when you're talking with people about just anything else in general, right? So that's kind of how I am. I'm much more respectful in general when it doesn't pertain to the game of basketball, when it comes to the Warriors, Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, all these things, right? That's where like a alternate persona comes out. You know what I mean? Like, don't bullshit me because I'm not here for that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of energy that I have, and that's the energy that I'm on. I'm on a warpath when it comes to the Warriors. So that I don't want people to confuse that characteristic, that part of me, as if that's how I operate, in life with everybody in general. No, I'm not like that. And anybody who's heard me speak enough, you would know that, hopefully. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to clarify that. I really appreciate Urkel, you coming up and, saying the things that you do, giving me the support that you do. I really, wouldn't be where I'm at in terms of being able to speak like this, in front of people and whatever, if it wasn't for Urkel, giving me that platform, welcoming me and all these things. And even when people are like, say what they say, he still believes in me and supports me, even if he doesn't always agree with me. Right. And that's the beautiful thing about like real friendships is that, yeah, you can disagree. I disagree with Dre. Like Dre, you and I, we have many disagreements, right? We disagree about a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, you're my friend. And I always feel that from you. And and all of you guys in the chat as well. I appreciate all of you guys. And again, basketball, we're gonna disagree all day about all kinds of shit. But when it comes to real life shit, you can disagree with me, and I will not like come at you because you disagree with me. All I'm trying to do is just share what I've seen. That to me is the truth. I'm always about the truth, whether it's about basketball or anything else. That is the greatest form of like doing God's work, is speaking the truth as much as possible. And I do as much research as I can before I share whatever that I believe is the truth. And you don't have to agree with it. And I don't have to agree with you. But at the end of the day, I will never hate you, my fellow human being, my fellow brother and sister, because you don't agree with me on something that is like really important in life. Right. So we can have those disagreements and still coexist. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And for the people that feel that you can't, like, that's not good, man. We're not here to hate each other. We're not here to be split halfway and half the people hate the other half. Like, this is ridiculous. Right. So I'm not about that. And so I hope that clarifies.
I was just gonna say. So I'm out in about 10 seconds. But the other reason why you could never start TJD at the 5 for any extended period.
Holy shit! That guy.
Shut the
that
fuck
guy
up.
is
Yeah. So
He just
anyway,
never shuts the fuck up. Like, holy shit, bro. God damn.
Take what I
fuck
said
is
for.
Like, you gotta start snatching Maz. Holy shit.
Take what I said for whatever it is. I really appreciate you guys so much for the overall welcoming back. And I just it's a blessing to have you guys to have your guys' attention whenever I talk about the game of basketball. And sometimes obviously when I'm doing strength or whatever, I try to talk about some life shit too that hopefully can help you in your life in some way. So that's just, at the end of the day, that's what I'm on. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna continue to come back, and the season's about to start, so I'll be in full gear soon. I have not really paid attention to the game of basketball this summer. I had so much going on in my personal life, which I will get to.
I can tell.
So yeah, thank you guys, Dre. Thank you.
Yes,
Everybody,
sir.
it's good
Yes,
to
sir.
see you. Mapagpa, good to see you. Baba,
Hey,
all of
Jim,
you guys,
wait,
love
Jim,
y'all.
Can I preface it before? I know you
Yeah.
gotta go. A few things. First of all, I want to say, Pogba, Bubba, Jim, you three in particular, man. You guys, I've really built some good relationships and friendships with you guys, and I look forward to having really deep conversations, basketball related, otherwise, this season. So I appreciate y'all. And Jim, shout out to you, man, coming back. I didn't even know if you'd hop in. I kind of teased the chat earlier. I was like, when I started the Trayce breakdown, I think we were at like 70, 80 people. And I was like, we might have a special guest in here. And I'm glad that you came through because it just changed everything. It changed the vibe. It changed kind of the feel of everything. And so I appreciate you for coming in and, being able to share your thoughts and, talk basketball, talk about, life and everything in general. We'll be back. Like I know you'll be in here. You'll be in spaces and stuff. So we expect you to be here. But appreciate you, everyone in the stage, and
No, yeah, no. So I'm out of here. But just a quick final point. TJD shot.
Don't kick him.
This nigga don't stop.
No,
God
let him
damn.
say.
Bro, don't kick him, bro. Come
Yo,
on, chill
stop
out.
kicking him, man. Let him just say his bullshit. I
Yeah.
want to.
Bro, you
Let
gotta,
him-
Anyway.
bro, y'all gotta get this mod team.
Anyway,
man.
I
let me
am
say
off.
my piece.
No,
Jim.
Brandon.
I am off
no.
for today. All I will say is
This mod shit got
as for
Jesus
Brandon,
Christ, man.
it's okay.
I know,
we can
Jim,
disagree, and
it's
we'll
not
see
your
what
shot.
happens this season.
So what
We'll
I'm
see.
saying is TJD shoots 56% from foul line. You could never close games with TJD. I mean, it's just absurd. Anyways, that's all. I'm out for now. Anyways, you cannot have a center shooting.
I'm getting kicked.
You can't have
I'm
a
getting.
center shooting 56% from the foul line closing
What the
games.
fuck?
It doesn't work.
Okay.